Greetings. Welcome to According to MJ. It's your girl MJ, and we're going to review this most recent episode of My 600-Pound Life. We're still in season 9, and this is episode 7 featuring Krystal. Now, overall, this episode was very boring. I'm just going to keep it 100. This episode was very boring. The most exciting thing about Krystal was that damn beard and her riding in that little car at the airport. But before I get into that, I just want to give you a brief summary of Krystal. So she's 34 years old. She lives in Ohio with her husband and son, Josh. Now, she gave some background to her trauma that she experienced as a child. She said around 4 years old, she started being molested by her family members and then her mother's boyfriend. So just imagine a child that young being molested. She says she was molested all the way up until age 13. So that's definitely sad. That's tragic. And she said she used food to escape because she really wasn't safe anywhere she went. And she said by the time she graduated high school, she was well over 400 pounds. She didn't mention that she was a lesbian a great part of her adulthood because she felt terrified of men. So she was a lesbian, but within that relationship with her girlfriend, she discovered that she was not indeed a lesbian. So she did meet her husband Freeland at work at the cab company. And it was funny that he mentioned when he met her, like they really couldn't stand each other. He thought she was a horrible person. So I thought that was funny. Now, initially, when this episode came on, they always show the patient in the bed. And I'm looking in the bedroom, like, that bedroom looks stank. Like, it just looks stank. And her, like him helping her shower or get in the shower, she was more mobile than a lot of the patients Dr. Now has. But just to see her shaving that beard, like, sis, it has to be a better way. But she did reveal that she has PCOS. So I understand that can be very difficult, but there's got to be a better way to remove that hair off her face. She literally, like, her beard game is better than a lot of men out here. Like, connects and everything. No Anthony Hamilton beard for her. So eventually they head to Houston. She meets Dr. Now. So at her initial weigh-in, she was 618 pounds. And the doctor, she told him that she was a binge eater, right? And so Dr. Now asked her, she binge eating all day. He's so funny. And Dr. Now is unintentionally funny, but he could do stand-up. So she told him she wakes up around 11:30 a.m. And I'm thinking, you have a son, which is not her biological son. It was her sister's son. But don't you have to see this boy off to school? So she said once she wakes up, she takes her medicine, drinks a few diet sodas, she eats, and then she's back in bed around 7. So when I heard her tell us, like, this woman's depressed, because who is sleeping this long? You don't sleep that long unless you're depressed. And Dr. Now did mention that he was worried about her being depressed. So he did send her to meet with Dr. Paradise, who is a psychotherapist on the show. And he did suggest they move to Houston. So she had a call with Dr. Paradise, and she revealed the trauma that she experienced. She went in more in detail of the childhood trauma she experienced with being molested, and then to be like cousins and other family members and her mother's boyfriend and his brothers. Like, poor thing. And she seemed so stoic, like unmoved, like she was able to tell the story without crying. So Dr. Paradise recommended to her to journal to release those feelings, because you can tell, like, the way she described it, you would think, not judging her, because what she experienced was horrendous, but you think someone would have difficulty in telling that story. So now eventually within filming, like, she was losing weight by her, so she had a few weigh-ins before COVID happened. And so once COVID-19 hit the world, everything stopped. So she been in the house, back to binge eating, because when she came back, she actually flew to Houston, her husband, her son, and she actually gained over 50 pounds. So Dr. Now, like, how do you do this? You almost gained more than half the weight that you lost. So I know the pandemic has been difficult on us all. But because before that, Dr. Now did recommend her for weight loss surgery. Then the pandemic happened, the world shut down. Some months passed. We're, as a world, as this country, we're more acclimated to COVID. So we're kind of moving in the confines or constraints of COVID. So Dr. Now did recommend her to move to Houston. So she said she moved to Houston. So that's a good thing. So I would say, like, my assessment of her, that she is very mobile. Unlike a lot of his patients, like I said, the room just looked funky. Her husband in bed just looked funky. And I just want to know, are the spouses of these 600-pound patients, are they empaths? Like, do they just want to be needed by these people that are so large that they can't do anything for themselves? Do they just want to be needed by someone? And I want to say, I forgot to mention this a little earlier, but when she did her first weigh-in, as she got on the scale, the music they played when they show her weight, it was like this sad trumpet or some horn instrument. It was so funny. Like, the editors, producers of these shows, like, they find the right music. That just really tickled me. And also to see her at the airport when she got in a little golf cart. They have for people that are disabled. And the golf cart was screaming for help and screeching. She was like, am I going to tip this thing over? So that was funny. And she would tell her son not to be embarrassed. But I feel like she was more embarrassed than the child was, because a lot of children don't always be thinking like we think. But I just really hope that Krystal gets it together, and so before the episode ended, she did say that she's gonna move to Houston. She's sad about being apart from her husband, but she's determined to live the life she envisioned with her family. So I hope that she holds that vision in her mind and she uses that to keep her motivated and determined to meet her weight loss goals, because she's had a rough life. She deserves to have some joy and happiness. So let me know what you all think of this episode. Like I said, overall, it was kind of boring, kind of dull. She wasn't rude to Dr. Now, and I believe Dr. Now had a lot of empathy for her, because once he kind of put the pieces together, I'm dealing with someone who's dealing with depression. It's like he didn't want to send her over the edge. He didn't really deal with her rudely like he did with, like, last week with Kanae. So I thought that was interesting. But let me know what you guys thought of the episode. What were your takeaways, or what stood out to you, your aha moments from the episode? Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. I thank you all for watching. Until the next upload, be safe. Later.